Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London, and it's my pleasure to review a book today which is a novel, and it was rather an interesting novel. It's called The Ocean Dove, written by Carlos Luxul, and it's been published by Matador, part of Troubador books. And Elizabeth was the lead writer for the review, and she's given it titled Terror on the Ocean Wave. And we're not going to give a lot away because that's not what we should be doing really. Let's have a quick look at the book. It's only a short review, this one. There is the book. It's a paperback. There we go. There's the spine. See The Ocean Dove, and then there's a little thing at the back, and it says, "This dove does not come in peace." And it talks a little bit about the book. Opening in the book, it's a basic standard novel. There's quite a lot of narrative. There we go, and descriptions as well. There's chapters all the way through the front of the book. There's the front page, as such, and then straight into chapter 1. You'll be pleased to know that the four-letter words don't start in chapter 1, right on the first page. You have to get to about page 4 or 5 before the publishers have put those in. And I say that from having had, I'm not going to mention the names of these well-known authors, but having over the years had discussions with them, they say, well, of course the publishers want us to put these words in. Oh, great. But there we go. I'm afraid I'm not impressed about any of that, because you don't need the words. But there again, perhaps it's a bit gratuitous, I don't know. However, I thought it was a good read. And Elizabeth and I did talk about the book. I don't know that Elizabeth was quite as enthused as I was about it, but what we say here is we don't often review fiction here at Richmond Green Chambers, but we've been sent a copy of The Ocean Dove via Matador, and it's been written, as I say, by Carlos Luxul, and it does invite some comments in these troubling times, and I thought it would be, and because I've got plenty of spare capacity at the moment, it was well worth doing. It's unlikely to cheer you up, however, this book, I have to say, because it's a fictional account of an 8-day terrorist attack which wipes out positively acres and acres of London, for which the government is totally unprepared. Yes, this is fiction, to point that out. And it's tempting to suggest that this is a novel that can conveniently be read back to front. That way, you can familiarise yourself with the details of the disaster to which the minutely detailed narrative leads. The book's epilogue reveals the full extent and impact of the appalling incident in an imaginary account, 14 pages long, in an imaginary Sunday Times. Yes, this is imaginary. The trouble is that it's just like an exercise which turns into reality in the army, or some of the things you do which go completely the other way from what you really think. And of course, in history terms, when you're participating in these things, you don't know actually what you're participating in until after it's happened. But there we go. The carnage described in gruesome detail is wreaked on London by a gang of, in the author's words, sophisticated terrorists who have seized and taken over a cargo ship called the Ocean Dove. Terror ultimately emanates from the Thames, despite the heroic and the lonely efforts of the novel's main character. I'm not giving spoilers away here. The identities of the miscreants, who had previously been researching targets for their wish list, had apparently been as unknown to the authorities as their motivation. And unfortunately that is one of the problems even today with the sleepers and all the other people. Let me conclude this short review by saying devotees of the disaster story genre will no doubt be mad keen to have a read of this book. It's a good book. It's well worth reading. It's very professionally written, especially in the context of the sea and ships, which of course Carlos has a lot of experience of. It's a subject, as I say, which the author is familiar. And in the times we now live in, however, this salty and sanguinary tale might come across as a wee bit rather depressing, particularly when you notice the word lockdown in the penultimate chapter. I leave you to read it. The date of publication is cited as this year, 2020. Here's the book again. Carlos, you've done a good job there. There it is. There it is. I don't review books I don't like. Neither does Elizabeth. So you can take it from us. We're very happy to review it because it's a well-written book. Right, here we go. Chapter 19. You get a nice little bit of descriptive stuff, then you get the old narrative and the various quotes and the various comments from the various people. Do read the book. I'm not going to give anything away, but what I would say is thank you to Carlos and to Matador, who are part of Troubador Books, I understand, for producing it. It's an interesting read, and for anybody who's been to sea recently, don't fear too much when you read it. Remember, it's fiction. Thank you to all. Bye-bye.